Hey guys, it's Alex Brandaw, and I'm bringing you a new series that we're calling Real Estate Confidential. Throughout my career, people have asked us, what really goes on behind the scenes of various reality TV shows, real transaction, and real market knowledge. So we're going to start this, semi-annual as it is regularly needed. We're going to bring up this series where we're going to have just quick talks and share about Real Estate Confidential. Today, we're sharing a story about a client recently that called us that had actually, without us knowing in particular, bought a new construction home without an agent directly from the builder and the builder's representatives. And they were having some trouble. And they thought, they didn't even think about it. They're multiple time buyers, very, very professional people, and experienced, lots of experience. It wasn't their first, second, third time. They bought many, many houses, but they just walked in, saw the builder, liked it. But it was one of their first experiences with new construction. And we love and have tons of experience with new construction, both representing buyers and representing sellers. We even have some significant development experience, helping developers and builders bring new product to market, identify what the market needs, finding the land, securing the land, and then actually bringing the final product to market. But in this particular Real Estate Confidential, we want to talk about what and why you really need an experienced new construction agent when you're out there in the world. These folks were coming right upon closing. They were within a week of closing, and they were having several specific questions and conflicts around their home, and they really didn't know where to go. And so they actually had to turn to us and my partner, Susie, who many of you know and you've heard me talk about checking in and going, hey, is this okay? Is this not okay? And how do we solve, this problem? And that's where a significant amount of experience, especially around new construction transactions, really paid off. So in particular, they came across an environmental hazard. And you say, how could that possibly be, Alex, on a brand new house? How can it have an environmental hazard? Well, sure enough, a new construction house hasn't lived. Right? It hasn't lived life. And generally in a new construction area, there's been a lot of disruption around the topography, around the dirt and the stormwater and where it goes and how it goes. Well, sure enough, that was the case with this house. It had a significant amount of moisture in the crawl space, which was causing mold in that space because it wasn't properly ventilated. The house wasn't properly ventilating. And they were really, really concerned about, one, how did that happen? Right? It's new. It shouldn't be that way. And two, how do we fix it and what's okay going forward? So we talked through a couple of the scenarios and got into some specifics and worked out a positive solution, not only cleaning up the mess that we discovered, but also addressing the problem, which was causing the moisture into the crawl space and without the air circulating around. And how would they know, right? They needed to know for sure that mold wasn't dangerous to them, as well as into their air ducts, into the walls and crawl spaces, and in between spaces of their house. So that's something that comes up all the time. They also came across something that I talk about all the time, which is just different construction standards that come up. Case in point, when they had bought their house, they actually discovered just prior to closing that several of the floor joists of their new house had been cut, and were no longer the original building material that they once were. Now, I can tell you, after 21 years and over 1,000 closed transactions, this happens in houses and in new construction all the time, all the time. But there's a proper way to fix it, and there's a proper way to resecure it and to make it okay for the next 500 years or next 50 years, instead of just for the next few minutes. And that was something that really came up. They were really worried about the structural integrity because this building product had been cut to allow passageway for air ducts and plumbing vents. And that happens, right? When you build a house, the way you build a house, you frame it first, you put the bones in first, and then you put all the features in later. And often those various different contractors will change or have to move something, right? They didn't consider something. So often plumbers or electricians or central heat and air folks will actually come through and cut a floor joist or a beam or cut a hole through something, and they don't necessarily always come right back and fix it. Now, that's not malice or not my job kind of thing. It just gets lost in the process, right? So it's always good, as these clients did, to go back through, have another inspection, and now the builder is actually going back through, resupporting those cut building materials and giving them the support they need for a long and healthy time and ownership. Additionally, there's just a bunch of processes, right? As you go into new construction, the timelines of things, the timeline and delivery of products and changes and what's common and what not was not common. There's a process, and every different builder has different processes, right? They have things that you can change or that you don't change, or they really do want to change, or things that they really don't want to do. And having an agent with some significant experience about knowing the pricing and the strategy and what the builders want or don't want is a super valuable piece. You may actually end up way overpaying for something that a builder really prices beyond the normal scope of pricing because they really don't want to do it. And you choose to do it thinking that's what it costs, when in reality, with a little bit of knowledge, it could be really valuable and easily done in a different way, or done after closing for much, much less, sometimes as much as a third less. So just wanted to jump on with this Real Estate Confidential series. Tell me what you think. What did you learn? Was there something that you learned here? Drop us a note in the comments. If you liked what you saw, please, hit subscribe and follow us and subscribe to our channel, because we want to continue to bring really valuable and unique content. And drop us a comment here as well if there's something you'd like to know for us to talk about in Real Estate Confidential in the days, weeks, and months ahead. But enjoyed bringing this to you. I hope you got something great. And until I see you again, keep on keeping on.